out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You tune to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect today. As always, ladies first. Sis, Porsche, what's going on, miss?
Not a whole lot, Kill. How are you? How's everybody? It's nice to see Vern.
Alright, West Coast Vern in the building. My brother, what's going on, good brother?
What up, man? You know, it's an honor and a privilege to sit in with you good people. So that's what we're doing. Getting my medicine ready. Don't mind me.
No doubt, bro. But yo, before we even get started, man, tell them give them all the links, merch, albums, everything that you got going on before we even get started.
All right, good people that tune in to such a great show. And I know y'all tuning in because I see the comment. Check it out. It's your boy, What Up, Vern, California's finest. You follow Kill, you can find me. You follow P, you can find me. What Up, Vern? Right up under that, it's a link. Hit that link, take you everywhere you need to go. My Instagram is What Up, Vern. And who fucks with Facebook, right? So, What Up Vern on Twitter, What Up Vern on Instagram.
All right, no doubt. Y'all already know.
Real quick, This is Travel and Sex is Life. 2 projects that's out right now. Cop them, listen to them, shit on them, tell me you love them, but check me out, please, and thank you.
All right, no doubt. Y'all know me, let's jump right into it. This week, we are looking at bars that you can use, bars from hip-hop songs that you use in everyday life. And I was thinking about this based off of one of my people hit me and I said something to him like, yo, you know, you can't win if you don't play. And that's a Marla Daniels quote for my wireheads out there. Marla Daniels was Cedric Daniels' wife who was running for office. And just, there's so many quotables in The Wire, which is one of the reasons I think is the greatest television show ever. Well, next to Twilight Zone. Because there's just so many quotables that I use in everyday life from The Wire. And it got me thinking like, you know, who are the quotables that we use in everyday life from hip hop songs? What are the bars? You know, why do you use them all the time and everything like that? And then of course I thought about Porsche, because Porsche be in business meetings dropping lyrics. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, oh, I was on a conference call and I just said this. And I'm like, yo, you said that on a conference call? Like, word? Like, so that also got me thinking about that. So P, as always, ladies first, why don't you set us off? What's one of your favorite bars that you use in everyday life and why?
Okay, so I'm going to save the most predictable and obvious one for last because we all know it's true. But I often, and not so much at work, but in everyday kind of conversation with friends or in situations, I use Big's 10 Crack Commandments, number 2, never let them know your next move. And I use that because oftentimes, I mean, one of my very best friends started her own business like a few years ago, and, you know, trying to get word out, you want to tell everyone what you're working on, so there's an anticipation. And I'm like, no, like, don't do that. I'm like, Big, man, like, go listen to 10 Crack Commandments and stop after number 2. So for me, I think it's so important. And again, there's a wisdom there. There's a reason why, you know, it's Big says it. There's a reason why we all sort of see people saying it and referring to it. So yeah, number.
That's dope. And I love how you said how you use it in the situation with your homegirl starting a business. You know, it's like Big said, never let them know your next move. You know what I mean? So that's definitely dope. I got a couple. So I'm gonna start off with Ransom out of Jersey. It's a song called JD's Revenge. And it's something I say to my teens. A lot of these things are things that I share with my teens or whenever I'm giving game to somebody. And I'm gonna give a little background on the verse before I get to the part. He says the truth is always seen and almost never heard. That's why when an altercation took place, I never said a word. They said a proper burial ground is what the death deserves, but how you 6 feet underground and never left the curb? That's kind of deep. Just let me catch the words. What kind of sheep runs from a shepherd's herd? And that line right there, what kind of sheep runs from a shepherd's herd, is what I'm always explaining to my teens when I'm talking to them. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm sitting here trying to school y'all and y'all like ignoring me. You know what I mean? And Rand, to me, here's the thing with this. You know what? Let me say this first. Of course, because you was on the show and you G-checked me before. We were on the show talking about Nas, and I was about to give Nas the #1 spot, and you G-checked me real quick, and I'm glad you did. And I said Nas had leapfrogged Jay to my second spot, because my GOAT list is big, then Jay, then Nas. And I was saying after Nas, King's Disease 1, 2, and Magic, that he leapfrogged Jay. I got to take that back. I got to renege on that. Because one of the biggest reasons why Jay is my #2 is because I have at least 8 Jay bars right here in front of me that I use in everyday life. And that to me is what, even if Jay never comes out with any music and Nas drops like 10 more 5 mic albums, I think Jay is going to stay solid there at the #2 spot for this reason and this reason alone. And I say that, I wanted to clear that up, but I brought up Jay because whenever I talk about Ransom to people, when I listen to Ransom's bars, he's now coming into that Jay place that when I'm hearing Ransom, I'm always like, ooh, like that's a good one. Like, yo, I could see myself using that. So Rand, if cats out there watching aren't really up on Ransom yet, please get into the director cuts, get into all of his stuff, because Rand is one of them MCs who, like I said, he's in that space. And for me, that's a rare space to be, that you're that close to Jay. For me, in terms of what you say, I can use in everyday life, when I'm talking to my daughter, when I'm talking to my teens, when I'm trying to school people. That's a huge skill that most MCs don't have. There may be 4 million MCs out here, maybe only not even 10% of that have that skill. So just go check out Rand if you haven't heard. That's from a joint called JD's Revenge off Director Cut 3 joint that he got out. West Coast Vern, what's going on, good brother? What do you have for one of your joints?
Okay, one of mine, I ain't gonna bring out my big dogs early, but I'm gonna just see where y'all where you at with it. I want to go off of, if you remember its song, DJ Clue?
Yeah.
It was DMX verse. I think it's the third verse, and he was like, never forget where you're from, someone will remind you. And that shit kind of sticks to me, because you can be whoever you want to be around people that's unfamiliar with you, but you can't front with what, like you could, like if you ever been in a situation and you playing it high and shit, then you look, you see somebody from the block that know you, then the whole story unravel because they know you. You know, they was there in the 3rd grade when you pissed in your pants, or when you got snuffed on the basketball court and didn't fight back. Like, they know you. So that always stuck out to me when X said that, never forget where you from, because somebody will remind you. Real talk.
Yeah, man, I love that joint too. I'm not familiar with that, but I love the rhyme from it, just for the simple fact that, I was saying this the other day on Twitter, I love the fact that I have people from fucking elementary school who follow me on Twitter, and people from high school, and people from my neighborhood, and people from Morgan, so that people, when I'm like, yo, you could, you know, what Nip say once, he said something like, you could check, you know, something, you could check the files, you could check I gotta find the bars. One person I don't want to mess up versus Nip, but it's basically like, yo, you can check my pedigree, my nigga. Like, never claiming to be no thug, you know, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that people can chime in. My homegirl the other day, Carrie from Philly, was saying something about Larry, and I was like, oh, yo, my man, and then I can tag my man from high school who used to dance for Larry. Like, that's what I love. So like you said, when somebody's coming at you like, yo, you know, but this person knows your background, and like I said, that's one of the things I do love about Twitter, that there's so many people on there, people I've never met, people I went to elementary school with. So it's like, yo, you could check my file. Good brother Eddie, what's going on, good brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Sorry for my lateness, pardon. Yo, what's going on, Vern? What's up, Porsche?
Freestyles. What's up, bro?
Yo, I'm good, man.
No doubt. Eddie, you came in perfect timing, bro. What is one of the bars that you use in everyday life? Who's it from and why?
Yeah, man. A lot of mine are like pretty simple. You know what I mean? Like, I rarely like quote real full bars, but it's just like little lines. And I'll preface it with this. I kind of feel like when you live hip hop, when you listen to hip hop and all that, like, it just be lines stuck in your head, right? So, like, for example, like if I'm about to get into something, right, you know, a new project or whatever the case is, you know, first line that be popping in my head, I might say, you know, thinking of a master plan, because they ain't nothing but sweat inside these hands, you know what I mean? So
No doubt, no doubt. You can never go wrong with no Rakim unless you that nigga who was on my timeline today saying his shit age gracefully. You know what I mean? Like, right. I guess you can go wrong with him, but
making that nigga famous.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's man, that's it right there. All right, no doubt. Porsche, who's somebody else that you got?
You know, Kill, I'm glad you said what you said about Jay, because I found myself constantly using Jay, and I was like, okay, so Jay can clearly fill up this entire list. So I'm trying to, yeah. Anyways, it's always going to be the same people for me, but another one I've got is, I use this literally all the time. I use this at work. I use this with friends. I use this on Twitter. I always use this line. A wise man told me, don't argue with fools, because people from a distance can't tell who is who. That is like the cardinal rule of life, I feel like.
It's the cardinal rule of Twitter, I'll tell you that. It is definitely the cardinal rule of Twitter.
Just life in general, because I just feel like if more people sort of practice that, there would be a lot less stress, nonsense, and, you know, just all of that stuff kind of bubbling up to the top. So yeah, to me, that's a critical line. I use it all the time because I just feel like everyone needs to hear it, and if it's resonating somewhere in their brain, maybe hopefully it stays with them and they practice it at some point. So that one by Jay.
The one thing, because that's on my list too. The one thing I know for me is I've always wondered, is that a Jay line? Like, or did he pull it? Did he pull it from like a off? Because there was something else I said about Jay said you something. Never know Jay. Yeah, you know, I mean, I know it's not a big line. I know he's a big quote. We know that, and I know it's not a big line. But there was something else he said. He said, oh God, I can't remember anything. I don't have to pull it up. But he said something, and I was like, yo, that's a quote. And somebody was like, oh, no, he got that from an author, or he got that from a book.
It is said that he got it from Mark Twain.
Okay.
Somewhere. But all I know is that I would have never heard it from Mark Twain or read it from like, I just don't associate that line with anyone but Jay. So for me, Jay said it, Jay birthed it, whatever.
Right.
I don't.
And again, even if he didn't literally write it himself, it's still one of the illest, because just even if I'm so visual. So when you visualize that, you get it. Like when somebody can't see who's talking and you hear one person dropping jewels and one person talking nonsense, if it's from so far away, you know, you can't tell who is who. You know what I mean? And you may end up looking like the fool to somebody for even having this conversation with this person. And I mean, that's just been something I've had to implement on Twitter, just as far as blocking people and muting people, like, because and unfollowing people. Like now I actually have a timeline for it. It's almost like work. Like you get written up, verbal warning, written warning, suspension without pay. It's like you say some stupid nigga and I follow you. Okay, there comes the unfollow. You say more dumb shit. Now I'm gonna mute you. We just gonna block you, because you know I don't even want to get into the back and forth, because you're right. Somebody who's just seen the reach, like, damn, Kill talking this dumb shit, like ain't like Kill. So again, I love that line right there. Wanted to get that Nip line first done right. It's from Grinding All My Life, and he says, what is this? County jail fade, you can pull my file yourself. That's what I was talking about. That was the line I was saying that I love about everybody, me kind of having people from my entire life on Twitter, you know, to co-sign the stuff that I'm talking. Next joint that I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to follow Eddie's lead. Eddie threw out the spades, so I'm going to keep going with the spades. I'm going to go with Rakim when he says, because I don't like to dream about getting paid. And the reason, I mean, that line right there, along with like God putting something on my heart, changed the whole entire way that I look at life. 4 years ago, my life was at 180 from where it was right now. I was overweight. I was dealing with health issues. I hated my job. I wasn't making a lot of money. And I would go to sleep every night and I would like dream about the life I wanted and everything like that. And then one day I was just listening to like Paid in Full for the 8 millionth time. And it was just like, and I don't like to dream about getting paid. And it just hit me. It's almost like when you go to church and you hear a Bible verse, you've heard it your whole life, but just one time it speaks to you different that time. That I don't want to dream about getting paid just spoke to me. And it was like, nigga, why are you dreaming about getting paid? Go out here and do what you got to do to make that happen. Like, stop dreaming about it and make it a reality. And now 4 years later, my life is the 180. I'm in the best shape of my life. My health is doing better. I'm making the most money I've ever made. I love my job. Like, everything that I used to go to sleep dreaming about is now my reality. You know what I mean? Which is a blessing, and that's nothing but God mixed in with a Rakim bar, which just helps to understand that Rakim his bars are growing gracefully with time. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna keep going back to this because I mean the boy said, "Hey, Redman and Rock their music hasn't aged gracefully," and it's just like here's a testament to not only has it aged gracefully, but it's played a huge part in me changing my whole life around and getting it to where I am right now. So definitely Rakim, Paid in Full. I don't like to dream about getting paid. Burr, what you got up for your next one, good brother?
My next one is coming out the Shaw off of Go to Sleep, third verse, Lupe Fiasco. If talk is cheap, then my silence is diamonds. Right? What I got from that is, if talk is cheap, you know, people whooping, running around and shit, and silence usually equates to peace of mind. And this peace of mind is worth diamonds to him. So that I always take that for that. Like, yeah, you know, let them do the talking. I'm gonna just move in silence. You know, and that's priceless because you don't know what I'm doing. You can't stop it.
Right. I love that because it ties into Portia's big, never let them know you right. Next food. You know what exactly. I mean? So being cut from the same cloth right there, no doubt. Eddie, what you got up for another one, good brother?
Oh man, so this is a joint that I could take so many quotes from, but yeah, I guess I'll just choose one. Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments. Number 2, never let them know your next move. Don't you know bad boys move in silence and violence?
You missed that one.
Yeah, Porsche, you everybody's on the same page.
That off the board already.
Oh, that's off the board?
No, he took that off the board. It ain't, he could.
But what it mean to you?
Yeah, man. What it means to me, man, is like, just don't be loose lipped with what you got going on, man. Like, just there's people out there plotting. There's people out there listening to, you know, your ideas, you know, seeing how you move, and either, you know, they want to take what you got going on for themselves, or, you know, that jealousy, you know, it's just not good coming out of that. I mean, unless you have your specific circle of trust, just, you know, keep that to yourself.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, that's one of those things where I'm always telling folk, like, even we'll be on this show and I'll have an idea and I'm like, oh, we'll talk about it when we off air. Cause like niggas will bite your shit. So it's like, yeah, you don't definitely need to let nobody know your next move. Cause folk out here nowadays will take your next move and do it before you can even think about doing it. And then you look like the hater talking about, yo, I was the one who was supposed to be doing that shit. Now you look like, you know what I mean? You the nut ass or whatever like that. So definitely. Porsche, what you got for another one of yours?
One from Big. If I said it, I meant it. Bite my tongue for no one. I say this when I, you know, yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. I don't typically say this at work. I thank God I'm not in any situations where that needs to come up, but I absolutely say it when need be. And it's honestly, I mean, the reasoning is long-winded, but Persian culture is very like adult respectful. So there's a lot of things that you need to like not say, even though an adult could be like completely out of line. Like,
Porsche, can you hold for 1 second? Can you, if you don't mind, explain to people what you are, because I've had people say, Kill, that's so cool that you got a white girl on your podcast. And I'm like, Porsche is not white. So I just want to,
I'm Middle Eastern. So yes, it's not, I guess, Middle Easterns, I guess, like it's not really a race. Like you're considered Caucasian as like because you're not considered, it's an ethnicity, but I say it as a race because I'm not white. Like nothing wrong with being white. It's just I'm not
right.
white.
This is y'all know I can't white folk. I'm good with everybody, but it's just a lot of people have said like, oh, I don't want to say this on the show because I don't want to offend Porsche, and then other people are like, oh, Porsche, that's so cool. You got a white girl on your show, and I'm like, yo, one, she's not white, so you can say whatever you want. Two, I would have a white girl on the show, but she's not white, so
right.
You know what I mean? So
so Middle Eastern, and why I kind of always correct people when they assume I'm white is because culturally and just background and if you know anything about Persian history, like it's not to do with whites in any capacity. Like our culture is just so deeply rooted in the Persian Empire from way back in the day, and I know a lot of people get their knowledge from the movie 300, which I've actually never seen because I don't like Hollywood's rendition of what the Persians do or didn't do. But anyways, yes, I am not white. I never in my entire existence ever identified as white, and in fact, I grew up, if people listen or know me, I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is like above North Dakota in the States. And I was the only non-white person in my school until I moved to BC. Always, whether it was elementary school, whether it was junior high, all of it. I was like, white people used to pick on me because I had curly hair, because I look different. I didn't ever, so yeah, I'm definitely not white.
Sorry, just wanted to put it out.
Well, do not consider me white. I get harassed, like, especially in airports. So yes, I am not white. There's no way. So that's that.
You muted, Vern. We can't hear you. Hold up. No.
Now?
Yeah, you good. Yeah, you good.
I got a best friend. He's Iranian, and he has a similar story to you. The same. He grew up in San Diego. Same story. Nobody could. The language is Farsi, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah. Shout out to the Iranian people around the world.
Yeah, I mean, California is the second Iran, so it really is. So yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So back to this line. I bite my tongue for no one. Like Persian culture is very, like, you respect your elders regardless. And over the years, you pick up on, you break certain traditions, and sometimes you got to talk back. And I've said this to my parents who've tried to check me after I've said something, not so polite, or I've talked back to an adult. And I've said that to them, and my mom's always just like, oh, stop it. Like, she gets so annoyed, but it's true. Like, I bite my tongue for no one. Call me evil or unbelievable. I don't say that part, but I bite my tongue for no one.
Yo, you had to videotape it if you kept going with the bite, call me evil or unbelievable. Yeah. Like, I was gonna have to see you tell Mama Porsche,
right.
Call me unbelievable or whatever.
I wouldn't need you to go pick a fight just to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Like that's up there. You got to go on live with something like that. And the funny thing, Porsche, again, and this is why I love the show, because, that's one of my favorite lines too. A beat I just sent Vern, that's the chorus, bite my tongue for no one. And it came from being on Twitter, because people always like, Kill, you come on here and then you set these fires and then you don't want to discuss them. And I'm like, nigga, I'm not setting a fire because it's really how I feel. Like, to me, setting fires is when you just say dumb shit. Just to, nigga, I really feel the way I feel. Like, I'm not gonna, again, bite my tongue for no one. Like, I'm not, whatever. So, another dope line, Porsche. I'm going to Philly with my next one with Beans. Give a little background on the verse before we get to the part that I love. Intuition setting in like Stevie. I still see visions. I close my eyes. I still see visions. Still hear that voice in the back of my mind. So what I do, I take heed. I still listen. I still paint that perfect picture. I still shine bright like a prism. My words skipping through air. You can't, don't get it. You niggas chose to ride the ship. You niggas chose to ride that ship, sunk with it. I'm still afloat. I'm not the captain of the yacht, but I'm on the boat. I ain't acting like what I'm not, and I know I won't. Niggas acting like they will, and I know they won't. I read between the lines of your brow. Your handshake ain't matching your smile. That right there. And I know I fucked up the verse off. Just forgive me. I've been sick all week. I'm fucking up verses. Just don't at me. I'm admitting to it. I'm just fucking up the night. It's not a good night, but we still here. But it's that. You niggas act. I read between the lines of your brows, the eyes of your brow. Your handshake ain't matching your smile. You know, and I always tell my kids that, you know, the guy that you running with right now at 15, who's your best friend, you know, prayerfully y'all stay best friends. But if we look at all the great movies, Nino and G Money, you know, Stringer and Avon, you know, like you know, you gotta be able to pinpoint, understand where something just don't seem right. Like, yo, your handshake seem thorough, but nigga, the way your eyes looking at me or the way your eyes moving, like I can't trust that right now. When Beans talks about that intuition, it's like, yo, when you come from the hood, that's all you got is your intuition. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna meet a lot of people. If you ran the streets, I'll say that. I ran the streets a lot in Philly. I needed that intuition. I needed that sixth sense to be like, nah, I don't know about this boy right here. You know what I mean? I don't know about Shorty over there. So to me, that whole feeling in the air, that whole song itself is just a quotable. The whole part about body language, 80% nonverbal, like all of that, you know, is just free game that Beans was giving the cat. So that's my second joint, feeling in the air by Beans. Vern, what you got for your next joint, good brother?
My next one, I don't know if you heard it. It's called KOS, Talib Kweli, Determination. Mm-hmm. He had this line. He said, "Life without knowledge is death in disguise." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like, you know, it's almost self-explanatory if you're a thinking person. You're running around here deaf, dumb, and stupid to everything. You pretty much dead anyway. You dead with a heartbeat, you know? So, you know, it just emphasized the importance of just knowing and then seeking information and knowledge, and always seeking it, because you're never too old to learn and pick up on something or sharpen a skill that you was lacking in. So I always thought that was a heavy bar.
Yeah, that definitely is. We ain't gonna talk about Black Star. These two niggas right here jumped me last week, so we just gonna keep it moving.
I ain't heard the shit.
Yeah, I got.
I see what you wrote,
bro.
We'll talk.
These two niggas jumped me like I was at Broad Island. This was just to get a rep last week. Like, yeah, I got. They robbed me, so I ain't talking about. Damn, my next thing is Black Star, and that's so ironic. Eddie, what you got for yours, good brother? You muted, brother.
My bad. I got Mos Def got from Black on Both Sides. So it goes, I would like to have nice things just like you, but I'm from Brooklyn. Certain shit you just don't do, like hot posting when you're far from home, or like hot posting when you're all alone. You know what I mean? And I'm not a flashy person, and this is just like, when I heard this, it resonated with me, because that's kind of how I move, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of, the street smarts is just, you know, and I knew a lot of people that just didn't care, you know what I mean? It's like, if anyone ever heard Make 'Em Envy by JD, right? JD is like anti that, like, you know what I mean? But nah, man, it just don't feel comfortable to me, and it's like, I guess it's just coming from that environment. Like, why? I don't want to draw more attention to myself. Never that, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's just how I move.
All right, no doubt. And you from Brooklyn, so you understand that better than anybody. So that's what it is. Porsche, what you got up for another draw on this?
Oh, you're not gonna say yours?
I didn't go. I thought I went with you. All right. No, I did. I said Beans to fill it in the air.
Oh, right, Beans. Okay, sorry. Okay, this one's kind of funny. I have used it in the past. I don't use it so much anymore. And this is when I realized that Nas's ether is like an ether across the board beyond hip hop. people, if you quote that song properly, people get very offended. It's so funny because it has nothing to do with anyone except for Jay-Z. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
I find this really funny. So I do choose my audience wisely. So if someone's not too familiar with hip hop, I may slip it in there. But if someone knows their hip hop, I won't ever mention it. But it's, oh, I get it, you Biggie and he's Puffy. I love that line because when people talk to you and they're name dropping and they're, just sort of exaggerating situations, I will definitely say that. And a lot of times they're like, because they know, Puff Daddy and Biggie were kind of like, co-workers or like,
right.
They're collaborators or whatever they want to kind of fluff that up with. I definitely have said that in the past, and I kind of smirk to myself, and the person's like, if they get confused, they don't really know what's going on, but I absolutely love it. I love Ether. I think it's such a dope track. So yeah, if you use the bars in this song properly, people can get offended beyond hip hop. So I love it.
All right, no doubt. Eddie, it's like we in the same bag. I got most from Black Star's Little Brother joint. The Little Brother joint was on the Hurricane soundtrack. It's funny, a lot of people say they haven't heard this joint. It's off the Hurricane soundtrack, which was a movie with Denzel playing a boxer, and it's crazy. Dilla did it. He chopped up this crazy Pete Rock joint off. I thought I had the album out. It's down there, but it's crazy. And the lineup. Do I even want to try and spit this bar? Because I've been fucking up bars all night. But you know what? Let's try it. Remember myself at your age when I was just like you. It was like now, I don't know what I would do. My ear's closest to me. So what I'm saying is going for me. Son, we still both growing indeed. But where you at, I was. And where you been, I left. Utilize my experience to guide your steps. So again, a lot of this comes back to my teens. And it's just that, but where you at, I was. And where you been, I left. Utilize my experience to guide your steps. It's like, yo, please just sit down and listen. Like, y'all, I get it. Y'all think everything is new to y'all, but like, yo, everything you doing, I done did that already. You know what I mean? I can damn near predict what's gonna happen next if you keep moving like this. You know what I mean? So when me and Burr was just talking last night on the phone for a minute, and I was telling him how important it is that when you hear them, see that a bar stands out for you. You know what I mean? And when I heard that joint, it was that joint just spoke to me right there. And again, a lot of this because I work with teens and I mentor a lot of people. Like that one always stood out for me. So check that out. Mos Def's Black Star off the Hurricane soundtrack. Vern, what you got up next, good brother?
On the home team from the man for tonight, Kendrick, Poetic Justice. I told you a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? Just about faith. Just about faith, and a lot of things, a lot of times your faith is tested and you just got to know it's got to be something bigger than you, because if it was all up to us, it'll be more chaotic than whatever you think it is at the time, So that always stuck out to me.
Yo, it's crazy. I love that song, love the line. I never put it up to faith. You know what I mean? I never looked at it like that. But that's even doper, because you're right. If I tell you the flower bloom in the dark room, you trust it. Like, you know what I mean? That's dope. That's dope. Everybody around here knows me. I'm not that deep lyrical person. Like, I'm the one who thought Bag Lady by Erykah Badu was about homeless people. So I'm never the deep listener like that. And I admit that I have no problem admitting my faults and my shortcomings. But that right there, bro, is dope, because I never equated it to faith like that. So that's dope. That's dope. Makes me love the line even more. Eddie, what you got up next, good brother?
This is a short but sweet one, but I like it because it's simple and to the point. Q-Tip, if knowledge is the key, just show me the lock. Mm-hmm. Like, no explanation necessary. I mean, like, people, learn. Like, continue to learn, man. Like, there's something you want to do, something you want to accomplish. Learn, man. Pick up a book, got the internet, whatever the case is, man. There ain't no excuse to be ignorant these days.
Yeah, no doubt. And then too, it's from Check the Rhyme, which to me is one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people, that's what made me become a Tribe fan. Like I heard people's Instinctives, and I was like, that's cool. It's a cool album. You know what I mean? But when I heard Check the Rhyme, it was like, oh, and seeing the video, it was like, oh yeah, this. Now I'm a fan. Now I can't wait for Low End. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we get one of the greatest hip hop, one of the great groups, not just hip hop, but one of the great groups ever with Tribe with that. So yeah, definitely a dope pick. Porsche, what you got up next?
Another Ether one.
This is what you do at work? You just be ethering niggas, like just on the.
But this one, I love Ether. That ether, that ish that make your soul burn slow. I love that. I think there is definitely a time and place that could be said at any workplace. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I've never used it. Again, ether lyrics I use very sparingly because people do take offense to it. It's a little abrasive for most people. So, but that one, I love it. I love that line. And it's so self-explanatory. There's a like ether became a verb. Come on. Nas like added verbs to the English language with this track. Okay. So I think there's something to be said there.
Right. And the hard part with ether is, I mean, it's one of Jay-Z's rare L's. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's one of the.
It's so distinctive.
Yeah, you know, and it's one of the rare times that he was able to bounce back from that L. And again, that's a testament to the times changing, because normally after Ether, Jay would have been done. Hip hop would have, if that was 1989, Jay's done. You know what I mean? We don't care about your money no more. We don't care about nothing that you got going on. We don't care. You're done. You can't make no more records. Nobody cares anymore. What's up?
I got a question about what you just said.
All right.
I don't know, right? We all I don't know how y'all feel, but most of us feel No Vaseline top 5 fucking diss records of all fucking time.
Right.
Everybody survived that, right? So if you take Ether compared to No Vaseline, Jay can survive it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't look at it like everybody survived No Vaseline. I feel like Dre got out because basically No Vaseline did what it was supposed to do. It deaded NWA.
It did do that.
It deaded NWA. And that was the missile. It's like the missile is, I'm gonna assassinate Vern. Boom, Vern is dead. Now if you come back and rebrand yourself as something else, and that's what I felt like Dre did, because it took out NWA. It was, nobody really cared about NWA. You ain't hear from Ren. You know, nobody really cared about Easy until he got with Bone Thugs. Nobody cared about Yellow. Okay. So it's like Dre kind of like, it's almost like that bomb exploded and Dre kind of ducked into the tunnel and then got up and shoot, you know, and rebranded himself, like, you know, and then found Snoop and then come back with Deep Cover, and it was like, okay, but he did destroy NWA, and that's what it did. It did the job. You know what I mean? And again, remember, I think I said 89. If I'm not mistaken, No Vaseline was like 91. Even though it's only a 2-year span for people watching, that's a big jump. Like, you know, in the 80s, that's when you got dissed and you were done. We just talked about Antoinette's I Got an Attitude. Yeah. That's one of my favorite hip hop songs ever. After Lights 10% Diss, there was no more Antoinette. So it wasn't like Antoinette was this black shorty who wasn't. I Got an Attitude still bangs to this day. You put it on, I'm rhyming along with it, I'm getting hype. I Got an Attitude. 10% Diss came. Nobody cared about Antoinette anymore. You know what I mean?
10%. Hey, that one don't get enough credit neither. 10% Diss is one of them things.
I think it don't get a lot of credit because, one, a lot of people really weren't up on it and didn't understand who really she was talking to, because she never named the name. And then two, I think it's not mentioned a lot because it's a slow track. You know what I mean? It's very, you know, you put on 10% Diss right now to a kid, they'll probably fall asleep on it. And I can't hold you. Like, it's a slow track, but I remember being there and hearing it and knowing it was about Antoinette and it being like, oh shit. So that's one of those songs that if somebody said it didn't age well, I'm not mad at that, because I don't know if the younger generation would be able to gravitate to 10% Diss the way that we did. You know what I mean? But it's just a testament to, but by the 90s, the disses really didn't kill people as much. Well, you know what? think about it. Like 50 really stopped Ja Rule's career. Like that stopped it, and Ja was the man at that time. That nigga was
the bait switch. The bait switch. Told him to stop doing shit and took it and did it himself.
Yeah. So you're right, maybe Jay. Maybe I don't know. But good one, Porsche.
I mean, because Super Ugly was pretty good too. So that probably could have ended niggas in '89 too.
I didn't think Super Ugly was dope, man.
Nah.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I thought the takeover. I thought Nas couldn't come back from the takeover. I thought that was.
I think he underestimated Nas for Super Ugly though. I think that was his mistake. He tried. He sort of like he won already, and that's how he got slipped.
And it was I feel like he got in his feelings too. Like takeover was very calculated. Super Ugly seemed like, oh, word, you said that. Okay, let me say something back. Like now we just getting into that. Me and AI got something in common. Like it wasn't even witty no more. It was almost just like you got in your feelings in his show type thing. But yeah, definitely dope conversation.
Another episode. Yeah.
Next up, I got Jay-Z joint Sweet off of American Gangster. And he says, I can walk down the hall of mirrors in Versailles and be so satisfied when I look myself in the eyes. And the reason why I use that line a lot is I share on the timeline a lot what I do, but certain things I don't share. For instance, one thing, right now I got 13 of my teens locked up for 3 different murders. And one day, one of my peoples was like, damn, Kill, like, not to be rude, but nigga, you ain't good at your fucking job if you got 13 kids locked up for 3 different murders. And I'm like, nigga, I do my job exceptionally well. The fuck is you talking about? You know, I look myself in the mirror every night, and I know that I have given my teens, my families, my community, everything that I have to offer. You know what I mean? There's no regrets for me. There's not, those 13 kids, there's not one thing that I can say, damn, I wish I would have done. I offered everything. Why y'all doing this? Oh, we don't got no money for haircuts. I'll cut your hair for free. Just go to school. You get your teacher writing a note saying you came to school all week, I'll cut your hair for free. Why are you doing this? Oh, we need studio time. I got a studio. Y'all come here, record for free. Y'all need beats? I do beats. I got beats for free. You whatever. So everything that they were saying is the reason they're out here living this life, I literally was able to take away, and they still were out here living this life. You know what I mean? So again, one thing my pastor taught me that has changed the way that I live life is it's my job to tell your house is burning down, not to drag you out. So my goal is to just tell these kids, yo, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Here's another way to do this. I'm going to walk this walk with you to help make sure you do this. And if you decide to veer off that path and do your own thing, I can't be held responsible for that. I have no fear in meeting God one day and him saying, job well done, good servant. You know, I have no fear to be like, damn, God gonna be like, yo, if you would have done da-da-da-da-da for such and such. Nah, I'm thinking that's how I live life. You know, if a friendship is about to end, I'm always thinking, what's worst case scenario? If this person dies tomorrow, am I okay with that friendship not being mended? I think about things like that. So that's how I move forward. So that's why for me, that line is so real to me, because I've had to use that a couple of times, and I'm not even offended by that, because I could see how somebody may think at first, well, damn, Kill, you ain't doing a good job if 13 of your kids is locked up for 3 different murders. So I'm not even offended by somebody thinking that way. I just have to explain it to them like that. But dog, I sleep well every night. I have no regrets whatsoever from any of the souls that I haven't been able to help. It's not because I didn't try to help. Like, I can definitely say that. It's not because of that. So that's why that one sticks out for me. Vern, what you got up next for yours?
Well, my favorite one that I try to live by and I think about often is Nas. And when he said that buck that bottle could have struck the lotto. And that's just so, it's just a paramount bar, because you can take it so many different places. And it's almost the reason I still write and do music from that bar alone, because it's like you always one verse away. It's just one beat away, one verse away, one ear away, well, one pair of ears, hopefully. They're not deformed and shit. And so yeah, I always like that line, and it's like a discipline thing. Like, okay, you know, I'm wasting this money on this when I could be doing something, you know, at least increase my chances of getting more money doing that. So I love that line.
Yeah, that's one of my joints I have for my honorable mention. Same exact thing that you said, man. Just, you know, thinking about how you spend your money. You know what I mean? And you know, spending your money on dumb shit or spending your money on investing in something that you want to do in your life. Like, you know, I could buy these Jordans, or I could buy this new plugin I need that's going to help me make the beats even better, or whatever like that. So that's how I always took that line. So definitely one of my honorable mentions. Eddie, what's the joint you got up?
I know it's a late, so I'm not sure if this got mentioned, but Nas bar, I need a new for this black cloud to follow, because while it's over me, it's too dark to see tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
Eddie, you must have just took my whole list, bro. Like we got the same lines, the same people, everything. But yeah, man, that's like, I think everyone has like felt like that at some point in time, man. I mean, I obviously don't last forever, man, but like, you go through those moments, man, where it just feel like, damn, like what's next, you know? And so the way he described that was just so eloquent, so perfect, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, bro, it was a time maybe 10 years ago, me and T had both got laid off. The money was bad, my health was bad, and I'm like, God, come on, bro. Like, I could deal with the money being bad, but let my health be good. I could deal with the health being bad, but let my money, but both of them. And I used to say that all the time. I mean, I'd just be in the car like, I need a new nigga. Like, because you can't see tomorrow. You feel like that. You feel like. And then again, me being a visualizer, and you really see that, like, if you just walking around and cloud is just over you, just raining on you every day, and it's just a dark cloud, you feel like you can't see tomorrow. You know what I mean? So very dope pull with that, because that's definitely, to me, one of my favorite Nas bars right there. So definitely dope pull. Porsche, what you got up next, sis?
Another big line. Mo money, mo problems. It's just super simple, but speaks volumes. And yeah, I mean, I've had people say that to me too. You know, just in general, like I find that line is thrown around a lot. In obviously in context, but it's one that, you know, holds a lot of truth. So yeah, it's referenced a lot, and I've referenced it a lot. So mo money, mo problems.
Yeah. The funny thing with that is, like, it reminds me of what I've just recently realized is, like, there's a gift and curse with everything. You know what I mean? And, you know, the gift can be the more money, the curse is the more problems, because the more people who want your money. You know what I mean? The more people who are trying to rob you for your money, the more people who want to borrow money from you. And if you can't help them, then, you know, then they talking shit about you. You know what I mean? So I kind of just realized, you know, when we pray for things, we have to now be aware that, you know, I was watching some documentary, and it was something about lottery winners, and just like how all these lottery winners, like, life went to hell. You know, and it's kind of like
the lottery. Yeah.
It's like, yo, it's almost like, yo, what do you mean? You're like, what the hell? You just won $10 million. Like, yo, you should be that. But you kind of look at all the problems that they went through with that money, and it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? You gonna say something, Porsche?
No, I was gonna say, it's like, I even find that whole, like, more money, more problems line goes beyond just even people expecting you to help them or loan them money or give them money or whatever. It's also just in general, like, you know, all of a sudden now it's just you have different responsibilities because, you know, you needed it or you didn't need it, but you got it, and now more doors open. But with those doors, maybe there's another slew of things that, you know, come with that. So yeah, it's not all. It doesn't always have to be the loaning part or the people wanting your money part. You know, that's the I think that's the easiest part, because, you know, it's just so simple. But the problems that I find may come with that or exceed just the loaning and the giving part.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I remember hearing that line. Like, the hard part is if you broke and hear that line, you're almost offended by it. Because I remember being offended by it. Like, fuck you mean more money, more problems. Like, nigga, you want to betray my life? Like, nigga, I'm poor right now. I'm eating, me and my girl share shrimp fried rice from the carryout. Like, nigga, I gladly take your problems for my problems. You know what I mean? But again, then that's when I'm young. That's when I'm in college and first graduating. But then, like I said, as you get older, you see it. Like, I always tell people, like, if I ever won the lottery, I'm just telling my mom, move that day. Like, nigga, we'll come back for that shit later. Just go. Like, just leave. Yep. Like, there are times when people be like, yo, what would your dream car be? Not that, because I can't drive that back around my block. You know what I mean? niggas be shooting at my neck, you know what I mean, and coming at me, you know what I mean. So I think that's the part of it that people don't understand. One of my homeboys, brothers, was a quarterback in the NFL. He was starting quarterback. It's back probably in the 2005-ish. And true story, cats from around the way kidnapped his sister on some old nigga off that money. We saw that contract you got, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, I'm like, yo, fucking real? He was like, hell yeah. So just again, you know, it's like just that more money, yo, is definitely gonna be some more problems, especially once it's put out. It happens with my nonprofit. Niggas be like, oh, y'all niggas got $2 million. And it's like, y'all don't even know how $2 million works. We ain't really get $2 million. They ain't just give us $2 million and say go. It's like, you know, so I'm even doing things with my parents like, we got this money and this is how it goes. This goes to staff salaries. This goes to this. Like, we don't have $2 million. The parents will call me like, yo, you just got that $2 million. Yo, I need my light bill paid. So again, you know, it also comes with the education of it. But all that to say, Porsche is definitely a dope.
More money, more problems.
Yeah, more money, more problems. The next joint I got, the Porsche, you took my wise man, don't argue with fools. This next joint is from Memphis Bleak, which somebody may say, how the fuck does Memphis Bleak, that look on Vern's face right there? But it's from one of my favorite. It's from one of my favorite slept on Jay-Z joints, It's Alright, off the Streets is Watching soundtrack. And he says, everything left out, you can blame it on the brain, not the heart. And I always use that. Just and for people who may not remember the line, truth is, let me try to spit this. In the middle of war, rocking the vest, who's the illest shorty alive? I confess, I take lie to the chest, and I swear to the heavenly skies I bless. The mic until the day I rest. Make you feel what I feel, I'ma try my best. And if it's real like I'm real, you can provide the rest. Everything left out, you can blame it on the brain, not the heart. I'm playing my part, stressed out, leave the best out, da-da-da-da. But I always tell people that, like, if I forget somebody's birthday, I'm always like, yo, please blame the mind, not the heart. You know, like, my brain is it's just off. Like, you know what I mean? So, again, even though it's Memphis Bleak, it's that little bar that just kind of stood out for me, that if I mess up on something, I'll tell my boss, like, yo, blame my mind, not the heart. Like, it's nothing offensive. I didn't mean to forget your birthday. I didn't forget your child's christening, all these things going on. I always tell my friends, if you have more than 2 kids, I'm probably not going to remember your second kid's name. That's your fault. You should have just had one. I don't remember a lot. So it's just one of those things. So whenever I kind of forget somebody's birthday or something important, or you graduated or something, it's like, please just blame the brain, not the heart. Like, I just got a lot going on in my brain, but that's not, it's no love lost to why I didn't wish you a happy birthday or congratulate you or anything else. So that's my joint right there. Eddie, what you got up next, bro?
Yo, I got Spectre Deck on Cream. And it goes, survival got me bugging, but I'm alive on arrival. I peep at the shape of the streets and stay awake to the ways of the world. This shit is deep. Like, I feel like slice that up each and every way. I mean, you know, the survival got me bugging, but definitely, like, and stay awake to the ways of the world because shit is deep. Like, that line to me never gets old. You know what I mean? Like, there's always something new happening, man. It's like we move on from something, there's something else, man. So stay awake, man. You know, be aware of what's going on, man.
It's dope. One day we gotta show Deck some love, because I feel like he's always, you know, I see people show Deck love. He's not one of those people I could be like, yo, I never see people talk about Deck. Like, I see people talk about Deck and the way his strength and being able to set off songs and all those things. But I mean, I know it's kind of hard to stand out in the Wu, you know what I mean? Because on top of that, it's really like, Deck ain't even a character either. You know what I mean? Like, when you see Meth, it's a character. You see Old Dirty, he's a character. You see Ray, he's a character. Ghost is a character. You know, I feel like Jizza and Deck kind of, they're like quite, even RZA's a character. You know what I mean? I feel like Deck and Jizza are kind of like just the normal guys in the crew that, you know, I feel like if you take away Liquid Swords, Jizza doesn't get the credits he gets. You know what I mean? So, and Deck never got a chance to get his Liquid Swords. You know what I mean? So, I think that's the huge reasons why we don't ever hear about Deck, maybe hear about a Jizza is because he never got that RZA joint Porsche because of the floods. So that's that. But yeah, that deserves a lot of love out here
for
in the
sure.
streets.
And if you think of like the classic Wu joints, right? Think of the Wu joints, like either him setting it off or just having verses. Like he was standout, like on both the first and second album.
Every time.
I mean, to me, he's a standout wherever he goes. He's a standout on True Master. He's a standout on Above the Clouds. He's a standout, wherever he goes. And I think, because sometimes I feel like because you're not the character, and I'm not saying character in any type of disrespectful way. I'm using that term as far as like Meth has a persona, like Ray has a persona, Ghost has a persona. You know what I mean? Deck and Jizza kind of really don't have a persona. They don't have that to them. It's just dope lyrics, you know what I mean? And I think the testament is to be able to stand out against all those characters and their names still be, talked about. So definitely, Deck is definitely always a dope pull. Porsche, what you got up next?
So I have to mention it. And this is actually the last one on my list. My favorite quotable in the entirety of music. You guys know I always talk about it. I talk about it on Apartment 5B. I talk about it. I mention it. I refer to it daily. And yes, even at work with clients, I have used it. Anyways, a thug changes, and love changes, and best friends become strangers. This is critical. And again, time and place. Like, that quote is so useful, and I have been able to advise so many people that have asked for advice or have been in situations by referring to this. Like, I'm just like, listen, like this is what it is. Like, you just can't hold people, and so this is kind of that wild card. It's literally one of the best, not one of my favorite, and to me the best quotable in the entirety of music in general. So
please tell me how you use this at work. What was the set the scene?
I did mention it on a previous episode. A client, I'm going to give the abridged version because I already gave the long-winded one. A client came in and was complaining. This is like pre-COVID. A client came in and was complaining about a fallout with his business partner. And it was very, very messy. And, I kind of listen, and I'm letting him vent. And it had been some time had passed, so it's not like, it was fresh or whatever, but I think it still stings a little. And he just, the whole time is like, I just don't understand. This guy was my best friend. I just don't get it. All this. And I was like, listen, like, I'm going to have to take it back to Nas. Like, this is what he told us. And I literally quoted that. And
I gotta take it back to Nas, like Nas told you, nigga. Like, nigga.
I literally said that. I was like, listen, like Nas told us in the message. And he was like, what? And I was like, this is the line. Like, let me just, And then he kind of sat there and he like stood there and thought about it. And it was just a very good conversation after the fact, because then we got into hip hop. But I that's how I used it.
Yo, Portia's gangster, man. Portia's gangster. She out here telling business associates, yo, Nas told you niggas what to do. You not listening.
Especially one of my clients, I hope you had a dope day. Like, I just sometimes the wires, the hip hop.
Hey, I feel you. It's funny because I got people at my job saying dope in emails and you know what I mean? So it happens. What are you gonna say, Eddie?
I was gonna say, like,
email, please be advised, and then hope you have a dope day. Like, I don't know. I'm just like.
I was gonna say, it's funny because like with a song title like The Message, they probably thought she was about to quote a biblical verse or something.
Right. Exactly.
The next joint I got up, our Apartment 5B resident counselor and lawyer, Trey Lee. When I graduated Morgan in 97, I moved to Atlanta for a year with my girlfriend at the time. And just wasn't anything going right. You know what I mean? Couldn't find a job. The relationship wasn't working out, all this stuff. And it's this line, he has a song on Many Faces called Living on the Edge, Living Life on the Edge. And he says there's a line in that joint where he says, "I refuse to go back to Philly till my shit's together." Because people used to be like, well, kid, my moms would be like, yo, kid, just move home. Like, if it's not working out, just come on back home. And I'm like, yo, I refuse to go back to Philly till my shit's together. Like, you know what I mean? And for anybody watching and doing time checking, yes, I know Trey Lee's Main Face didn't come out till 98, but that joint was actually on his demo that I had from back in 93. So just a testament to how dope Trey is, that a song from 1993 on his demo ended up on the album dropping in 98. That's a testament. Trust me, any of the demos I was making in 93 shouldn't have made nobody's album. They exactly that. It was demos. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, and when people and mad people will be like, yo, just move back. Like, yo, dog, why you sitting down there stressed out? You sick, you this, you that. I'm like, yo, I refuse to go back to Philly till my shit's together. And it's funny because I had passed Trey Lee's demo around to everybody at Morgan. So on another episode of maybe 5B on the writer's bench, Ev said he used to say the same shit when he was living in LA. And he was like, yeah, I'd always be like how Trey said, I refuse to go back to Philly till my shit's together. So, you know, definitely definitely I use that all the time. Because when anybody would ask me like, yo, Kill, just give up and come back. And it's like, nah, I ain't giving up. Like, I ain't coming back until I come back with something better. Like, I can't come back down and out. I got to come back some kind of other way. And I ended up coming back because I got the job at the radio station. Strictly Hip Hop. They brought me back full time to do the show, so that's how I got out of Atlanta. But yeah, I wasn't leaving like with my head down. I definitely was gonna stay and just have to go through what, like they say, you gotta walk through the valley. Like, I'm not dipping. Like, my kids call it duck and wreck. If you don't want to fight, they be like, Mr. Kill, hey, he ducking that wreck. Like, I'm not ducking the wreck. It was like, yo, this is what I gotta go through, but I'm not going back to Philly till I can go back with my head. I ain't coming back like, damn, I took that L. Like, that ain't gonna happen. So that's my joint from that. Vern, what you got for your last joint?
My last joint is from the great prophet Ice Cube. Simply put, fuck the police. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I had that one too. Fuck the police, come straight from the underground.
Just to say it, we all know what that did. It sparked a lot, but it was definitely way before the video cameras, before the Rodney King, and we all see the fruits of, you know, we see why that was said, and it was so much they wanted to silence so bad because of their behaviors that we all now are familiar with on a worldwide scale.
Yeah. It's crazy because I don't know if you guys are watching We Own the City. It's the new David Simon joint on HBO talking about corrupt cops in Baltimore. Definitely a dope show to check out. But yeah, you know, like Nas said, didn't you listen to what, you know, Nas tell you? Same thing with this. Like, Q's been telling us since '88, fuck the police. Like, this what they doing. It's 2022, and it's, you know, still. The sad part is there are now people who are just getting hyped, getting with it. Like, oh shit, like, yeah, fuck the police. It's like, oh yeah, nigga. Like, so that's the crazy part, that you still got people defending the police. Now it's like 2-3 years ago, it's like, oh shit, like, damn, these niggas was right from 30 years ago. Like, yeah, they was right from 30 years ago, nigga. You know, yeah. So yeah, so definitely a good pull for that. Eddie, what you got for your last joint, brother?
Last one, I got a Biggie one, and it goes, you're mad because my style you're admiring. Don't get mad, UPS is hiring. And it is usually like, when I use it in public, is usually like the second part, you know what I mean? Someone's salty about something, don't get mad, UPS is hiring. Just throwing more shade on it, you know what I mean?
Right. No doubt. You got any honorable mention joints, Eddie?
Honorable mention, I mean, I had the Ice Cube one. He Vern already mentioned, man. But I had another one in the same vein from To Live, where he goes, Kurt Loder asked me what I say to a dead cop's wife. Cops killing people every day, that's life. Yo, it sounds foul, man, but it's true. Especially with everything that was going on, man, during the 2 years pandemic, man, when shit was getting crazy. That line was stuck in my head, man.
Yeah, nah, I feel you. Vern, you got any extra joints, brother?
I had one. I don't want to say it because it Porsche hate him, but that Drake line when he said jealousy is love and hate at the same time, that one is I'm raising a high school age girl, so you know the drama that come along with some of that sometimes.
Bro, I'm right there with you.
Right, like a year ahead of me, and I try to tell her like that's all it is. It's just they want something about you that they don't have, and they love and hate it at the same time. So that's something that I gotta I've had to sit down and kind of explain that and reiterate a lot. So that's my honorable mention. Sorry, Porsche.
It's funny that I'm always like, it's a movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but they be like, they hate us because they ain't us. And I always tell Nate that. You know what I mean? They hate us because they ain't us. Like, that's just what it is. Stupid ass. Yeah, exactly. Yep. They hate us because they ain't us. all my honorable mention joints are J joints. We gonna start with In My Lifetime, the remix. He said from the beginning, see, we never seen the ending, running up in all the women, all the land, and all the jewels. We sported Pelly's, gold diamonds, and Pirelli sport cars. The good life would give you a belly, but that's cool. I used to always say that shit 4 years ago when I had a gut. And people like, damn, kid, you getting fat. I'm like, shit, the good life would give you a belly, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, that was always my comeback, because I'm like, if Jay said it's cool to have a belly, right? So everybody shut the fuck up, leave my gut alone. Thank God I don't have to use that line no more. My next joint is Jay's Where I'm From. And this just has so many multiple quotes in it. I was working with this white guy when I first started working in nonprofits, and he was like from Kansas or somewhere, and he was like, yo, Kill, what's it like growing up in the hood? And I literally just played him Jay's Where I'm From. I was like, that right there you go. You know what I mean? From everything from, I'm from the place where the church is the flakiest, and niggas been praying to God so long that they atheists. Like, yo, niggas in the hood, we've been praying to God so long, we like there ain't no God. Like, when you really think about that, like, yo, our prayers haven't been answered in ever, so it must not even be a God. Like, and then I've always used them where you can't put your vest away and say, well, you'll wear it tomorrow, because the day after we'll be saying, damn, I was just with him yesterday. I think that's one of the most wittiest lines in the history of rap. Like, just the way that he was able to flip the words and the way he said that was just spot on, just incredible to me. We said, because the college cops at 18, we hop our vans and spray things, and life expectancy is so low, we making our wills at 18. A congressman came through my center last week for a site visit, and I was explaining to him that my kids are doing their bucket list at 16 because they don't think they're gonna live past 18. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, life expectancy is so low, they making our wills at 18. So God forbid, if somebody told you had cancer and you got 2 years to live, you ain't thinking about going to work and paying bills. You want to live your best life. You want a vacation. You want to do all the things you ever did. Well, if you're 16 growing up in the hood and you think you're going to die in 2 years, well, nigga, I ain't going to school. I'm going to have sex. I'm going to steal some cars. I'm going to get high. I'm going to do all the stuff I want to do because, nigga, I only got 2 more years left because don't nobody around here live past 18. So that line has always, and that's something like what I say with Porsche that I'll use at work all the time. Like I said, I was with a congressman last week and I had to use that J line. And then the third verse when he says, check it, I'm from where niggas cross over and clap boards, lost Jehovah in place of rap lords. And the reason why that always stands out to me is because we joke about it on the timeline, how these people worship these rappers. Literally worship them. And Jay said this in 98, lost Jehovah for rap in place of rap lords. Because, and I'm always on the timeline joking like, God damn, if I could get y'all to love Jesus as much as y'all love Mac Homie, like, nigga, the world would be beautiful. Everybody would be giving and everybody would be polite. If I could get you to love God as much as you love Jay-Z, like, think about how much we could change the world. So that line just always stuck out for me because it's truly like we have, these rappers have taken the place of God for people. So that's my joints right there. And then the last joint is just Jay-Z. You don't know what you don't know. And it's just simply, I will not lose. You know, I have that a quote up I'm having somebody come in and paint that on one of my walls in the teen center. It's like, you got to tell yourself that every day, I will not lose. And I say it just like that. I'll be like, I will not lose. I'll be like, I will not lose. Like, you gotta have, sometimes you gotta be your own cheerleader out here. You know what I mean? And I want my teams to be able to see that when they come to center every day. I will not lose. I don't care what just happened. I don't care if you just got jumped, you got robbed, you ain't eat all day. I understand life is fucked up. The game is fucked up. It's rigged, but you cannot win if you do not play. I will not lose. So that was my joint right there. And again, it's just a testament to salute Jay on just how dope of an MC that he is. Because I'm sure there's even many more of this. You know, I'm sure I've got 100 other Jay bars that I could use. And Ransom, going back to Ransom, he has a line from his new album. I don't know the name of it, but he says, I know niggas who praise Hova, but spit ether. Right. And that just, that's my
favorite lines. I love that he said that.
When that nigga said that, I was like, see, this is the fuck what I'm talking about. Right. Because I know people, and it's wild because I know them. I know Jay-Z stands, but they quote ether.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you do that? You're praising God. That's almost like saying you praise God, but then you going over here doing work with the devil. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The double entendre with that, probably triple entendre if you really dig deep. You know,
yeah. Like, so I never front. I get lost with the entendres, y'all. Again, that's my weakness. I'll leave that for y'all rappers to break that shit down for me, because I'll fuck around, try to sound smart, be like, yeah, it was a quadruple entendre. It's like, where, Kel? I'm like, shit, I don't know. Shit sounded good. sounded like a good thing to say in a conversation with MCs. I didn't want to be left out, so fuck it. So, but yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yo, stop. Like, stop. That nigga just said, I know niggas who praise Hov but recite ether. I was like, yo, this nigga's, I said at the beginning of the episode, Ransom, special dude. All right, tell me this, y'all. Kendrick Lamar is about to drop. Porsche, what are you expecting from, well, first, let's start with this. What did you think of the new video? If you saw it, because me and Porsche are cut from the same cloth, but we do not listen to singles. We just want to hear the album. You know, one of my beefs with music.
The entire timeline came at me with like, this is just a precursor to the album. This isn't going to be on an album. This is just what he does. You can go listen to it. But I still haven't. I trust my followers. I know all of them aren't going to be saying the wrong thing. Absolutely trust them, appreciate them for that. I just still haven't spun it. I want to wait for the album. I'll go back to that after.
And somebody asked me why I don't do that. And one of the reasons I don't do that anymore is because I don't feel like artists put their best foot forward with their singles anymore. You know what I mean? Like, even though people shit on record labels and everything like that, the record labels in the 80s and in the early 90s to like mid 90s were usually made up of hip hop heads. You know what I mean? So you had this whole team of people, marketing, promotion, people calling radio for you. So when you heard a single, the single stood out. We talked about Check the Rhyme. You know what I mean? That stood out. When you heard somebody's first single, when you think about when I first heard EPMD, So What You're Saying, it was like, God damn, like, that's that energy that I want from the first single. I don't feel like a lot of times artists give me that. Like when I heard Benny and J. Cole's, what is it, the Daddy Caddy, whatever that's called, I was like, it's cool, but it's not a first single. Like, you know what I mean? It sounds like an album cut. You know what I mean? So when I first heard it, I was like, I'm not impressed. I love it now since I've heard the album. So what I like to just do is listen to it in the concept of the album. Like, Porsche, what's that Nas joint? Is it Ultra Black?
Yeah.
I love that song, hearing it within the album.
Yes.
I know if I would have heard that song first, I would have been like, nah, this shit whack. Because it's Nas, and to me that fits good within the album. But when I'm thinking Nas, I'm thinking something like the joint when he was like, yo, we used to be 20 deep in the tunnel, you know, Chris Lighty let me in with nines and all that. Like, that would have been what I want to hear from Nas. So if I would have listened to Ultra Black, I would have been like, yo, this album gonna be whack. But when I listen to it within the confine of the album, it's good. Same thing with Kendrick's joint. For Pimp a Butterfly, the joint I did not like that. When I heard that, I was like, you just rhyming over the Isleys? Like, nah, get the fuck out of here. But then when I hear it in the album and when it fits in the album, it fits. So just to answer people's questions, that's why I don't like listening to singles, because I don't feel like a lot of these artists, because you don't have a label behind you anymore and it's just you and your niggas, I I feel like they almost just put whatever out. Like, I'll put this out, I'll put that out, and it doesn't garner the same excitement it used to do. When I heard Redman's Blow Your Mind, I mean, when you think about some of these songs that we heard from the albums in the 90s that we love, Protect Your Neck from the 36 Chambers, How Many MCs from Black Moon, Bucktown from Smith & Wesson, you know what I mean? Like, when you're thinking of those singles, it was like, yo, Out of Here by KRS. Like, it's like, it got you hyped to hear the album. And I just feel like now niggas just throw out singles the same way a lot of these people just track list their albums. Like, whatever, who cares? Put it in whatever order you want to put it in. So, but Vern, what did you think of the Kendrick song video? Have you heard it? Do you like it?
I loved it. It was incredible. The video's some different shit. You gonna love it when you finally tap in. I ain't gonna ruin it for you. I'm pretty sure you seen slips and shit, but it's one of those things you can just keep going back and you can dissect. And he always do them hearts. This is like the fifth version of this little series he does. But you can always go back and you pick up another gem. Like, damn, I missed this. I'm still finding shit. So I loved it. It was powerful, man. It was definitely unexpected. I didn't see what he did. I didn't see that on the horizon, and I was very impressed. But I'm usually impressed with the top tier dudes, right, in my opinion. Like I want to say, in my opinion, who the top tier dudes are, and he's pretty much on the top of the now to me, just because he kind of does it all. It's music you can enjoy, but it's a lot of thought-provoking things inside of it too, and I feel like that's important. When everybody else is going left, you know what I mean? It's cool that the kids could probably pick up on something that can help them out.
Yeah. Eddie, what'd you think about the joint?
Yo, man, I loved it, man. But I'm with Vern. Like, I don't think that this is going to be on the album just because I'm familiar with the previous arts. I want to say like the first one that he ever dropped was like on a mixtape or something, and maybe the first two were on mixtapes, but I know the other ones were like Lucy's, right? And that's why I think this is a Lucy, because he don't have a mixtape coming out, not that I know of, right? He's already put out his album cover, so
which is the best album cover of the year, too, Eddie, by the way. People were just tweeting easily the best album cover of the year. So the Kendrick Swallowing will start in exactly an hour and a half. So everybody just prepare your timelines for a whole lot of swallowing. But so you like the joint?
Yeah, man. I like the joint. I thought it was dope. I thought he touched on a lot of subjects. I don't think it's going to be on the album number 1, number 2. I don't think it's going to reflect what is going to be on his album. It's just kind of like how you know how J. Cole drops them freestyles before he drops an album,
which always pisses me off because I like the freestyles and then I don't like the fucking album.
Exactly. But I will say this, from the album cover, I don't like to dissect album covers like that, but the one thing I got from that album cover is that this is probably going to be another concept album, because there's a lot going on, right? With this Crown of Thorns, Gun Back Pocket, and Mom, and different things that people are pointing out. And I'm like, all right, if he's going that deep with the album cover, then it's going to be probably deep content-wise in the album. So I think it's going to be a concept. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. I ended up listening to it. Vern and we both have daughters who are close in age, a year apart. And they're both raised by hip hop dads. So I kind of heard it because Naomi was playing it, which is dope as fuck to me. Like, you know what I mean? It's dope as hell to like be like, damn, man, you listen to the new Kendrick? Like, that's dope. But I broke down and watched the video just because people kept talking about how incredible the video was. So I was like, okay, let me check this out. So between Naomi playing it and that, and I love it. I love it. Kendrick doing what Kendrick does. Porsche, anticipation for the album. I don't know if we've ever done this, and if you don't want to, please feel free to say, nah, Kill, I don't even want to fuck with that. What are you expecting from this album? Are you expecting, like how I was with the Pusha T, like I'm going in like this Pusha album going to be 5 mics. Like I'm going in this Kendrick album, when at midnight, I'm sitting back, I'm making sure my phone is charged on 100, my beats are charged, I'm expecting greatness from this album. It's his last album with Top Dog. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that just means he's getting off the label. I don't know if this is he's retiring. I don't know what's going on, what this means. I'm expecting 5 mic greatness from this album. What are you expecting? Even if you don't want to give it a mic rating, what are you expecting from K-Dot?
I'm absolutely not going to give it a mic rating at this point. But
and Porsche, please, for people, I'm not saying it's going. I'm not saying it's 5 mics. I'm not one of those people. I want to make that be clear. I'm not saying that this album is going to be 5 mics, and I haven't even heard it. What I'm saying is I'm expecting it to be 5 mics. That's 2 different things, because there are people on the timeline right now saying Kendrick has dropped this album is 5 mics. And I'm like, but you ain't heard it. I'm expecting a 5 mic album. It doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to give it. It just means what I'm expecting. That I just want to clear that up. I'm not that dude saying this is 5 mic. That's what the rating is before I've even heard it. It's just what I'm expecting. Trust me, if it's a 3 mic album, nigga, I have no problem saying I expected a 5 and I got a 3. It just is what it is. So I just wanted to clear that up. I'm sorry, Porsche.
No, all good. So I'm not even going to give an expected mic rating at this point. But for me, I just know how I am with Kendrick, and I'm just going to use. We just talked about it on our last episode of albums that grew on us, and I had to mention Damn, because Damn was like easily comes to mind for me. And again, I know that Kendrick is an artist. I know that he is very conceptual, and he kind of knocks concepts out of the park. So for me, I'm just because I know my history with Kendrick albums, I'm expecting to
That's
be.
a good point. Good point.
I'm expecting it to need a few listens before I can even wrap my brain around my opinion about it. There, and I did learn from Damn, because I heard Damn the first time, and again, we just talked about it, I don't want to go in too deep, but I heard Damn the first time and I was like, what the hell? I was just a lot of emotions, and I was like, wait, what? No, I need to like reboot, regroup, like all of this kind of stuff. So this time around, I am just going to go in knowing that I'm going to have to spin it a few times before I can even begin to form an opinion about it. And I'm going to give Kendrick that as an artist, because I think that would be fair.
Right. Great point. Because that what you were with Damn, I was with the Pimp a Butterfly. So again, it goes back to, I feel like it's almost like if you turn on Netflix and they'll be like, you know, they have like a button where it's like take a gamble or something, and they'll pick something for you. You know what I mean? And that's not my personality. I like to know what I'm going to get into. Like if I show Naomi a movie, she's like, where's the trailer? Like me and Naomi can't just sit down and watch a movie and not know what the fuck it's about. Like somebody else can, and that's great for them. And that's a great point for us, because that's Kendrick. Kendrick is that take a gamble. Like you don't know what you're going to get. You know, we got Jazz with the Pimp a Butterfly. This nigga may come on some country shit this time. So you really don't know what you're going to get. So that's a great point. Vern, West Coast, LA. What are you now? I'm coming to you because when it's Philly shit dropping, people kill. What, you know, new Meek album, new thought. What you in LA? What are your thoughts of this new Kendrick? What are you expecting?
I just know, like the privilege about being here is you gonna hear that shit outside every fucking where. And it's a different fucking vibe when it's like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You hear that shit everywhere. It's like you'll be in traffic, you look over, and niggas will look like it's a unifier, right? And I'm just expecting something unexpected. And that's what I've learned to do with this dude. Like Porsche, he's an artist, he gonna paint. And you know, it's that good feeling of waiting on 5 years for some new shit, because motherfuckers so microwave, it's like that old school feel to it. And I can't wait to discuss it in about 2 or 3 weeks personally, because that's how long it's gonna take for me to even have an opinion on the shit. But as far as being out here in the coast in the summer right around the corner, it's just gonna be it's gonna be the soundtrack of our summer, 100%. Period. Like I doubt it's anywhere near a dud, so I'm pretty much betting it's gonna be what I think it's gonna be as far as the atmosphere out here. I can't wait.
All right, no doubt. Eddie, you in LA too. What's your expectation?
Yeah, man. I'm definitely expecting it to have to grow. Not saying that I'm not gonna like it on first listen. So I remember my first album I heard Kendrick was that Section 80, and so I was living in LA at the time, right? So I like caught a vibe to it, you know what I mean? Like I think at the time I was living in downtown LA, so it was like walking around, taking in the city, listening to it, and you know what I mean? Like it connected with me. So then when a Good Kid, Mad City came out, it just didn't sound like that one. So even though I liked it on first listen, it took a few listens for it to really connect, right? For me to get all the concepts, to get the story, all that. And To Pimp a Butterfly, we talked about previously, and Damn, like Portia mentioned, we got to listen to it forwards, backwards, and all that. You know what I mean?
Honestly.
I'm saying right now, man, I ain't listening to this new album backwards, man. I ain't doing that anymore, man.
For everybody watching, he means backwards as far as track list, and not actually for the old people, because new kids don't know shit about this. But for the old people watching, not back for the kids watching back in the day, you could take a record and there would be things like if you play it backwards, it'll be somebody saying something different.
Like the Black Sabbath.
Backwards. Right, yeah, Black Sabbath. Or I remember my mom's best friend was a pastor, and I was pissed. I was over her house, and she was like, "You know that group KISS stands for Kids in Satan's Service." I'm like, "Well, you shut the fuck up. I like KISS. Like, fuck you fucking up my shit for. Like, nigga, we say that shit to her. Now I can't go home and listen to KISS no more." But that's what he meant, that you could play the Prince would do stuff like that. So, but for the old people, he's talking about with the whole thing with Damn was they were saying you were supposed to listen from 14, 13, 12 backwards like that. So,
and then they released the deluxe, which was basically the album backwards with the track list backwards, which is like, oh my. But nah, man, I ain't doing that, man. If Kendrick, if you're listening, which you probably not, if you want me to listen to the album backwards, release it with the reverse track list.
There you go.
That, man.
There you go. There you go. All right, you already know what it is. Eddie, give them everything. Tell them about freestyles. What's going on with that?
Yeah, man. I'm on Twitter at EddieD80, Instagram at freestyles. Yeah, man. I just do work. You know what I mean? Like, I got 9 to 5, man. You know what I mean? So when I started freestyles, man. Pandemic, man, I was unemployed, man. I had plenty of time, man. Time is not really been on my side, man. So definitely gonna get back into it, man. But I've been enjoying doing some other things, man. I did a Twitter Spaces with Portia for I Am God's latest album. You know, man. I would love to do another, man. So. You know, I think I'm looking at 2 people here who got a project coming out. So, we love to do that. You know what I mean? Do a Twitter space for y'all album. That'll be dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vern, tell them where they can get at you, the music, Bandcamp, everything.
If you're looking or you're listening, it's What Up Vern on Twitter. Anything, anywhere you see What Up Vern, that link in the bio is a highway to all my situation, my catalog, some of my merch, my website, all that and above. And like Eddie mentioned, me and Kill working on something. I got 2 joints on now, Distance Travel to Such Is Life. Rock with them, but like in the next 30, 40 minutes, because after that, I know what we all be listening to. So do your thing. And once again, thanks for having me, Kill. Nice seeing you, P. Nice seeing you, Eddie.
Peace, man. Now, you already know what it is. And for a lot of MCs out there and producers who are working together who aren't in the same place, I think what's dope about me and Vern, me and Amir do it too, we just sometimes FaceTime and just talk, man. You know what I mean? And kind of get a vibe for each other and get a vibe. And, you know, I'll send Vern a beat and FaceTime him and we'll be listening to the beat together like, yo, what you hear? What's this? What's that? So, you know, to me, this whole, I get it. I'm not saying people use it as an excuse. I get it that, you know, it's always better to be in the studio together with each other. And that's true. But if you can, we also have technology to do the next best thing. You know what I mean? So it doesn't just have to be, I send you 30 beats, you pick the 12, you just write whatever, then I hear it when it's done. Be part of that process together. Come up with a weekly time where it's like, yo, listen to what I did with this, or what are you hearing on this, or what are you hearing on that? Just because, again, I just believe that that makes better music. And to me, that's always the goal, is to make the best music possible, to not make microwave music and just to get it done, just to get it out there, to say something's out there, but to really make a project. Vern, what did you say in that line? How you gotta learn how to swim just in case the dam breaks. You know what I mean? And when he said that line, it kind of just struck me because, again, that's what I'm teaching my teens. You got to be prepared for when something bad happens. You gotta learn to swim in case the dam breaks. You know, so when he's playing that to me, and I'm like, that's it right there, bro. Like I always, any MC, I'm always like, you got to have at least one line in a song that makes not only me, but I'm only speaking for me, but make somebody stop and be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, I want that oh shit moment from every song. So to me, that should be the goal of every MC. Have that oh shit moment in every one of your songs. Now, I didn't say your verses, but at least in every song, have something that makes somebody be like, oh shit. Like, that's it. I want that. Oh shit. Like that. What's the Weebay meme? Like, oh, like, yo, because she was a cop. She's still alive. Like, oh, like, that's what you should be shooting for. And it's hard to do that if you just bouncing tracks back and forth. And I mean, me and Vern have been on FaceTime for the past 3 weeks since I was in Cali, talking, working on concepts and stuff like that. So again, I just challenge more people to do that and not just become a, here's some tracks, okay, then I hear it when the album drops. Like, nah, like really work on it together. P, give them everything. Oh, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, yeah, no, I wanted to, since you were talking about, like, you know, Vern's verse and all that, like, I just want to give a shout out because, you know, since I've been busy, I haven't had a chance to shout him out like I usually would, but I haven't heard your latest, bro, but that Distant Travel, man, I want to say, man, yo, how, I think I might have even told you on the timeline, but how all them tracks, man, what was so dope to me, how he had a title, Distant Travel, and all of the tracks had something to do with traveling or distance or being on the road or something. Like, it all tied in, man. And I just thought that was crazy, man. Like, so
thank you, man.
It takes a real lyricist, man, to do that, man, to hold the concept. Even like, it's not the most obvious concept, but then when you keep listening back, you're like, oh shit, that's pretty dope.
See, it's that oh shit.
Yeah, man, I mean, you listen. I appreciate it.
Every MC, I'm telling you, MCs trying to give y'all some game. You gotta have that oh shit moment in your song. Each song, that's what you should be shooting for, that oh shit moment. Chefs do it. I know I have a couple of homeboys who are chefs. They want, when they almost want to watch you eat their food because they want to see that look on your face when you take the bite. You know what I mean? Those are the people who really care. Like, because I want to see your face because I put my I did my thing on that steak right there. So when you take that bite, I want to see you savor that bite. Other chefs be like, I don't give a fuck they like it or not. Whatever, it's out there, you pay for it, keep it moving. You know what I mean? Be that chef who wants to have that oh shit moment. Be that chef who wants to see you taste the food and be like, okay, yeah, he liked that. Yeah, okay, I can see in his face he liked that steak. Like, so just, this is what we have to do as a community, as a culture, to just get the music to being better. Because we have the quantity, we don't have the quality. And to me, that's not even an opinion, that's a fact. And we have to get back to the days when we had the quality of it. You know what I mean? So just a little tidbit. Porsche, tell them where they can get at you. I always tell people, don't talk about Drake. She loves Troy. You do those two things and you're good fucking money. Like, my nigga, I almost got you the job. It's like, coming on time, fucking bring, you know what I mean? Bring coffee for everybody. You're going to get the fucking job. And niggas be dropping the bag. So, Porsche, where can they get at you?
Just on Twitter at Cherche Love Porsche, and yeah, we do Twitter Spaces on Tuesdays. I took a little bit of a break. There's just a lot going on at the time, and I've just read the terms and agreements and the privacy policy of Twitter, and there's some real dodgy, sketchy, shady stuff going on. I've emailed Twitter to get further clarification, so I'm almost wanting to put a hold on Twitter Spaces until I hear back from them, which I haven't yet. But we are set for this Tuesday. This will drop on Monday, so it'll be good to go for Tuesday. But yeah, it's a little sketchy.
And again, for everybody out there, we call Trey leader, Apartment 5B lawyer. It's really Trey and Porsche, because Porsche, I was saying something on the timeline, like, because of those RICO charges, I was like, oh, this is where fucking Twitter's become lawyer. Y'all niggas ain't never heard of RICO before Jay-Z said it. And when I was always joking, like, when the New Edition movie was out, people was killing them for signing that contract. I'm like, number one, these kids are 10. Number two, their families from the project. They can't afford no lawyers. And three, you motherfuckers don't read your iPhone updates. You just sign it and keep it moving. Porsche does not. Porsche is the resident Apartment 5B lawyer, because Porsche will be like, iPhones, okay, I got the new user agreement. I'll let you know. She DM'd us the other day. Twitter put out some new notifications. I will let you know what I think about them. About 2 days later, nigga came back with screenshots like, I'm iffy on number 4, I'm iffy on number 8. So dead ass. Porsche is going to read through her shit like that.
And I will share it on the TL, but I have to hear back because it's just very vague, and I don't want to jump to assumptions or conclusions. I want to hear from the horse's mouth what that exactly means and entails, and then I can either make people aware, or it's just I misunderstood what they meant because they didn't word it correctly, and away we go. So I'll keep you guys posted.
Porsche about to FaceTime with Elon Musk and get us all the answers.
Right. Figure out everything that's going on.
And I don't remember reading this in previous versions of this terms and agreements, because I've been asked, like, was it there before? And I'm like, I would have flagged that. It's pretty flagrant. So I don't recall it being there. So anyways, when I hear back from Twitter, I will advise.
There you go. Porsche, if you start your first album needs to be I Will Advise. There you go. There you go. I'm telling you, when you're coming up with titles, you just got to keep your ears open. That's it right there, Porsche. I will advise. There you go. All right, good peoples. I will check y'all next week, y'all.
Peace.